guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Alizea and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big part or whatever. I know you guys seen the title. I know y'all might be like, girl, what are we finna get into today? Girl, I'm finna break some stuff down to you guys because you already know I need to talk to you guys. But before we get to today's video, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because you would never find another black transsexual like me. Hello. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. You already know. Get up into the big part or whatever. It's gonna get deep on myself. I have a high body count at 18 as a trans woman. I'm not gonna hold you. I want to get real personal with y'all. I used to be such an attention seeker. When I was younger, like, I've had real bad self-esteem issues. Like, any male validation or any male attention that I got, I used to, cling on it. And I used to, twist it and turn it. And I used to always love male validation. When I first got my first, real male attention from this one guy that I used to have a really bad crush on, I still have a horrible issue with talking about him because, like I said, like, I've never been in love with anybody, and I don't even consider that love, but I consider that, me finally getting something that I've always wanted and I've always lusted over. I used to always lust over boys, and I used to always, see a male that is so fine and see a guy that is so fine. I used to be like, oh my goodness, I wish I could do something with him. Oh my goodness, I wish he would give me attention. The biggest thing that I used to always struggle with, I will always have friends in my inner circle, or just have friends in general that would sit here and be like, oh my God, girl, I have a whole relationship, I have, me and my little woo, we got stuff going on and stuff like that. We don't experiment and stuff like that. And stuff like that will, like, sit over here and have me look in the mirror and be like, am I doing something wrong? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, I'm beautiful. You cannot deny that. I can't even deny that. I'm a beautiful human being. And I realized my beauty when I got older. Like, I was like, whoa, like, there's a lot of guys staring at me in school. There's a lot of guys that will open the door for me in school. There's a lot of guys that will open the door for me just in public, just in the general public. And I always got portrayed as a woman ever since, I really came out as trans. I feel like I've gotten to the point after that first, body count and, that first, guy experience with my crush. I realized I'm starting to lust over guys. I'm starting to lust over that. I want that type of male attention. I used to have a bad habit when I was younger. I used to sit over here and, give myself out to any guy that came my way. Literally, like, I have story times for days. Y'all can literally go down on my page and look at it. Literally, like, I used to sit over here and just any guy that gave me any attention, I would lust over it and I would go ahead and do some wild things. And I really hate that I did wild things because it gave me consequences, like, me sitting over here and having long-term consequences mentally. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, that one boy, he took advantage, and, it had me starting to realize and reflect on life, like, what am I doing with myself? I realized, I sat over here and let this boy sit over here and do all these things to me, and sit over here and just do things that I wouldn't allow anybody else do. Like, it hurt my feelings. I'm not going to hold you. I'm starting to stutter because I'm starting to have flashbacks. Like, it hurt my feelings. And it made me look at myself in a completely different light. I got disgusted with myself. I realized, and I look at myself and I was like, you are a disgusting human being. You sat here and allowed this man to do this to you. And after that, I had a horrible habit with, I didn't have health care at the time. So, I'm thinking, after this whole situation that I have HIV and that I have AIDS, and I just had that, linger over my brain. I was like, do I have this stuff, And now, looking back at it, thank God that I don't. But, I used to sit over here and think that I did. So any boy that came across me from then on, I would sit over here and not disclose anything that I did, not disclose my status and stuff like that. I don't have AIDS. If y'all are thinking I have AIDS, though, I don't have HIV. I don't have none of that. I'm clean. I'm clean. But listen to me, event. So basically what I was trying to say is, like, I sat over here and I realized, when I got, older, like I started giving myself out to men that were, in their late 20s, men that were in their late 30s, even pushing 40 years old. I can't believe I sat over here and gave myself out to that many men. Like my body count is in the double digits. Was fun to hit triple digits if we're going to be for real. And it's crazy that I'm 18 years old giving myself out to these people, because what I used to seek for when I was younger is I used to seek for love. Like I've always seeked for love. I've always wanted love. I've always wanted to be loved. When I was younger, I've always wanted my mother to give me the same attention that I give her, give me the same love that I give her. Just with my friends as well, I've always wanted people to give me the same love that I give them. And I realized a lot of people weren't giving me that. So I would try to go and find it in different places, like, in boys and grown men, just in stuff like that. And it's crazy because it's like, looking back at it, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that just to, feel love. You're loved already, Alizea. And I want a lot of people to understand that, sitting over here and having terrible dating experience, like you getting cheated on, and you're like, well, now I'm finna go be a hot girl or a hot boy. I want you to understand there are people out here in this real world that's gonna sit over here and love you for you and not cheat you, not treat you horrible, and not step out the relationship. The biggest thing that I struggle with is like, my biggest fear is getting cheated on, or my biggest fear is, me, ghosting them. Like, I'm not gonna be a cheater. Like, I don't see myself being a cheater. But if I truly fall in love with you, like, I'm gonna have that insecurity where I'm gonna think that you cheat, because I've gotten to the point where I've seen like so many people cheat on the internet. I've seen the whole Twitter videos of them cheating. I'm not going to get into the details, but you get what I mean. Like, girl, I've seen some crazy stuff. And it shaped me into like, dang, is this serious? Like, is this how people really act? And I used to think that about my friends. My friends would tell me that they get cheated on. And that's like, that's confirmation that I don't ever need to get in a relationship. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. I want people to understand, and I want myself to understand that, you are loved. And, if somebody doesn't see the value in you, you don't need to have that person in your life. And it took me a long time, and it took me to get a high body count to realize that. It took me sitting over here, having that one horrible experience with that grinder man. And I told that story time on here, but it took that experience for me to realize I don't want this lifestyle anymore. I don't want this life anymore. I don't want this man or any man to sit over here and, my body, and to sit over here and take advantage of me. I don't want that anymore. And I feel like when my mom, she passed away, and I feel like, when she passed away and she was no longer with me, it hurt my feelings. The one person who I knew loves me and I knew I loved them is gone, and I would never ever get that again. And I didn't have a strong bond with my family. Like my auntie and them, I didn't have a strong bond with them. If anything, I resented them. I hated my family. I hated my auntie. I hated my granny. Like they hurt my feelings so bad, and they told me I would never be a real woman. I would never sit over here and, my feelings aren't valid. I shouldn't sit over here and, say that I'm depressed. I should live in the moment and dismiss my mental health. I used to have really bad mental health, and I used to have really bad depression. I used to have horrible self-esteem issues, like I said. And I was very insecure with myself at a point in my life. I had a horrible insecurity with my appearance, and I had a horrible insecurity with myself. I feel like there's a stigma in life where you're supposed to be traditional, only stick to one partner for the rest of your life. I don't ever think of that. I think you're supposed to build with that one partner, but if it doesn't work out, you shouldn't linger over that one partner. You should really sit over here and think and long and think on it and have a conversation with yourself, what else can I do now? Now that I know what I want in a person, I should go try to find that in somebody else. You don't have to give yourself out to people. The biggest thing that I realize with life is you don't have to do certain things to find certain things. Everything will happen for a reason. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Everything will happen for a reason. And I realized when I got older, me losing a lot of friendships and me cutting off a lot of friends, it opened doors for me to realize there are nice, genuine people that have my best interests, that have things that are going for themselves, that have, a good quality and, a strong bond. I realize there are better people in this world than what I'm portraying them as. There's better people in this world. And You know, I want a lot of people to understand that you are heard and you are beautiful, and you don't have to give yourself out to a lot of men just to feel loved and just to, you know, sit over here and have, quote unquote, have self-worth. I want you to feel like, I want a lot of people to understand you don't have to want to feel like a bad bitch just to get male attention. Like, you don't have to have male attention just to feel loved. Like, really, I hope I'm not rambling about that, but like, you really don't. I used to have a horrible, you know, problem with that. I used to have a very bad problem with that. And the biggest thing that I know I don't struggle with is like protection. Like, protection, if you're going to sit over here and, you know, do wild things like I used to, you have to have protection. You have to sit over here and make sure they're using plastic wrap and make sure that you're being safe. You don't know who you're sleeping with. You don't know who you're talking to. The biggest thing that I try to tell everybody is to be safe. It only takes one time for you to sit over here and itch and burn for the rest of your life. I want you guys to understand, you don't need to be like Lovely Peaches. You don't need to sit over here and do that stuff. Use protection. It doesn't matter if it's with your significant other. It doesn't matter if you're sitting over here and you've been together for like 3 years. You got to understand, you really don't know that person still. Unless you get married, or unless you really, you know, have that real strong bond where you have real trust both ways, you know, please be safe. It takes one time. It doesn't matter if you're heterosexual. It doesn't matter if you're gay, you're trans. It doesn't matter. It takes one time for you to sit here and itch and burn like Lovely Peaches for the rest of your life. And a lot of us need to take self-accountability. I had to take self-accountability. I had to realize, you know, like, I need to apologize to myself, and I need to tell myself, like, you don't need to sit over here and linger over the horrible things that have happened in your life. Life happens and life goes on. You know, that man, that boy that took, he did me dirty, was what we're going to call it, because I don't want to get demonetized. But that boy that did me dirty, you know, I don't need to, you know, sit over here and linger over that. It happened. I can't go back in time and undo it. It happened. I had to forgive myself for being stupid. I had to forgive myself for doing those choices in life. And I had to tell myself, just don't do it again. And just to realize, you know, you shouldn't give yourself out to these boys. You shouldn't give yourself out to boys and men that only want your body and don't want to get to know you personally. I want somebody to understand me for my personality, and I want somebody to understand me for me. I don't want to sit over here and, you know, only talk to a boy just because, you know, what do we call it? Just because we're black and just because, you know, we have the same interests. Like, I want to have a strong bond. Like, I really want to have a strong bond with somebody, and I want to really get to know somebody. That's the biggest thing that I'm struggling with, you know, trying to find friends. Like, I'm trying to find a friend that doesn't want to just go to parties and just doesn't want to play Roblox with me. I want somebody that has, you know, the same interests, the same bonds, that can help me build myself up, and I can help them build themselves up. And that just goes relationships too. Like, I finally went on my first date like a while back ago, and I realized, you know, he's a cool guy. I realized now what I want in a guy is to be, you know, he doesn't care about me being trans, and he doesn't care about what people think about in him. That's something that I realized with him. Like, I don't know if he's ever watching this video. Hi, if you are, Shay Nicki Minaj. But I realized with him, like, he's a cool gentleman. He's a cool person. And, you know, the only thing that I had, you know, trouble with him is like, you know, I'm a very, promiscuous person. I'm a very much a person that likes to, you know, do stuff. And I also like to have deep conversations with him. Like, I felt like I couldn't be myself around him. And I felt like, you know, he couldn't be himself around me. I felt like we were both sitting up here insecure with the fact that we were both going to judge each other. And I want a lot of people to understand that, you know, relationships shouldn't just be based off of that. If you're sitting over here worried about, you know, your significant other having a body count, you don't want your significant other to have a high body count. This is the problem with society. You're part of the problem with society, because I want you guys to understand that every person has feelings. Everybody is human in this world. You have to understand that you can't sit over here and linger over that toxic stuff. That's what I call toxic masculinity, toxic femininity. It's just toxic all around. I want you guys to understand that you should get to know a person for them. You should get to understand a person for them. You shouldn't have to sit over here and linger over their past. Let go of the past and live in the present. That's literally what you have to do in order to survive in this world, in order to build yourself and live in this world. You have to live in the present. And that's something I used to struggle with really bad when I was younger. I used to always struggle with that. And social media is a big example. We always see people, give relationship advice. Don't text somebody so quickly. Text after 10 minutes. Text after an hour to show that you're not like so interested, or that you are interested. I don't ever do that. If I'm really interested in you, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to text you. I'm going to sit over here and get to know you. You get what I mean? I want to know you. I want to smile with you. I want to build with you. I like people. I'm a people person, and I feel like that's something that's one of my biggest flaws, is that I'm a people person. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I stopped doing that. People show you their true colors only once, and you need to believe them. If you can't sit over here and see that these people are not for you, something's going to be wrong. They're going to sit over here and tear you down. You don't want nobody to tear you down, and that's something that I used to struggle with. This is the main reason why I have a high body count now, as I used to struggle with my self-esteem, and I used to struggle with love. I don't need people to love me. I need to love myself. And now that I'm learning myself and I'm going on my, spiritual journey, I'm going on my, journey to find out who is Alizea, I realize Alizea wants somebody, who can also help Alizea get to the path that she wants to be, but also love themselves. I want somebody around me who loves themselves and who can also love me. I love myself. I love myself enough to tell myself that I'm beautiful every day that I wake up. I love to tell myself that, life goes on, and to not lean over the past, to, keep pushing forward, to keep striving for the better. I'm a beautiful Black trans woman, and nobody can ever tell me that I'm not a beautiful Black trans woman. I am beautiful and I am heard. I want a lot of people to understand that you are beautiful and you are heard. You might feel like you're ugly, and I want a lot of people to understand this. If you feel like you're ugly just because you can't pull that certain demographic, or you can't pull that certain guy that you're crushing over, I want you to understand it's not meant to be, okay? If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and you need to let it go. That's something that I used to struggle with so bad. I used to always linger over the past, like I said. I would always try to see the benefit of the doubt in certain things. Let it go. Let it go. If you want to see progress in life, you have to let certain stuff go, and you have to look forward. You have to keep your mind straight. You have to keep your goals straight. You have to keep looking forward, and you have to keep, smiling and looking on the bright side of things. And the biggest thing is, like the guys that I used to crush over, where are they at now? In jail? Where are they at now? In criminal history? Where are they at now? 5 baby mamas and 10 kids. Like, girl, what? I'm glad I don't deal with those boys anymore. I'm so glad I don't deal with hood boogers. I'm over that stuff. I'm over it. I don't ever want to sit over here, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. I don't want to ever sit over here and really give myself out to a guy. Like, if it comes down to it, and I, do stuff, I do stuff, you get what I mean? But the biggest thing that I try to tell people is, like, you don't have to sit over here and charge a man for your attention. Like, I want a lot of people to understand, like, I stopped doing that. Well, I just started, but I just stopped. You get what I mean? Like, listen to what I'm gotta say. The biggest thing that I used to struggle with is, like, self-esteem. Like I said, like, guys used to come left and right, and they'll sit over here and play with my emotions and play with my patience. I don't let that happen anymore. And I'm done with that stuff. I want people to understand that, like I said, my life matters, and, I don't want people playing with my emotions anymore. And a lot of trans people don't want people playing with their emotions. They don't want boys playing with their emotions, especially. A lot of trans women are very fragile and are very sensitive, and there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. I don't want you ever thinking that I'm being rude, saying that you're sensitive. Your feelings are very valid, and I want you to understand that. I want you to get to a point in your transition where you're like, you know what? I want more things than just sitting over here charging these men. I want a house. I want a car. I want, I want all these other stuff. I want to complete my goals. A lot of stuff that we linger over is, the past. I let go of sitting over here passing. I stopped passing to make sure that I can get better with myself. I haven't sat over here and pass for like 3 months now. 3 months. And I'm glad. I'm happy that I haven't passed. That's what's making me better. I'm black and I'm trans and I'm beautiful. And I want a lot of people to understand. Go tell yourself that you're beautiful. It doesn't matter if you're heterosexual. It doesn't matter if you're straight, bi, queer, whatever you are. You are beautiful and you are heard. You got to understand that you got to have positive people in your inner circle that's going to make you feel positive. That's going to make your environment positive. If you let these negative people in your environment, you let these negative people stay in your inner circle, you're not gonna change. You're not gonna have progression in life. All I'm gonna say is you gotta want to change. You literally gotta want to change in order to see change. And if you don't put in the effort to want to change and you don't put in the effort to change, you're not gonna make it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm black, I'm trans, I'm beautiful. My name is Alizea. Hi, Bookie Bears. Go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how you like this video, and talk to me. I do these videos to actually get to know you guys. Like, I used to do this on TikTok. I used to talk about my life and I used to explain my life story just to resonate with people and just to relate to people. But I don't do that anymore because it got so toxic. So I come to here now to vent. And I want to get to know you guys on a deeper level. I like you guys, and I'm glad for that everybody supports me, and I'm glad that everybody likes me for me. And I look this way, and I look off camera, because I have bad anxiety. When I look at myself, I feel like I start getting cross-eyed, and I feel like insecure with myself. So if you see my eyes going every which way, because I'm like, I have a big insecurity with myself. But, you're beautiful. You guys are heard. I'm heard. And please love yourself before you love anybody else. Please. I love you guys. My name is Alizea, like I said. Stream Nicki Minaj, and bye, loves.